Good morning. How's everybody? It's 2 minutes to 12 down here, so it's 2 minutes to 1 up there. Okay, let's start off with Donald and see what he's doing today. He's been flipping out about the ratings that Kamala is going to get when she speaks. I'd say he should be a little bit more worried about what Michelle Obama's going to get. I think they're both going to beat his ratings. Michelle Obama is probably, next to Kamala Harris right now, the most popular woman in the political world. And I said this before. I thought she'd be a great president or Supreme Court justice. So you know where my feelings are with that. So listen, first, just if I seem to fade out already, I'm having a really bad head morning. I can't even remember what it's called anymore. This is a bad day for me, but I'm not sure why. But my mind keeps going like this. I get it's vertigo is what I have, and I'm not sure what's going on there. But so forgive me if I seem to fade a little bit. The polls are showing that Kamala's either tying up or getting better than Trump, and I always worry about that, because way back when they before they passed the law that they can't televise results until the polls close in California on the East Coast, or East Coast polls and whatever, because they discovered people like to vote for winners. So if you're on the West Coast and you got a 3-hour delay and you're watching Trump destroy everybody on the East Coast, you're going to vote for. The odds are that some of these people are going to vote for Trump. So they stopped it, and now it's up to even. The same time lesson. But that polling is subjective point of view. If you're asking Democrats, then you should get Democratic answers. If you're asking Republicans, you should get Republican answers. If you ask people when they come out of the poll, you're going to get a nervous knee-jerk reaction. You shove a microphone in a guy's face, all right? I mean, that happened to me once, and I just said, look, man, I don't know who you are. I don't know whether this is legit or not. I got nothing to say to you. And that never made any news or anything like that, but that's what happened. Now, going along with all this stuff, they're trying to impeach Biden still. Let's look at this, all right? I don't see any criminal convictions on Biden's side. So what are they charging him with, I mean, you've got a convicted criminal, a felon, running for president of the United States. And you want to impeach that, and I don't think they're not talking about impeaching him. They're not even bothering trying to get him off the ticket now. They just want to beat him because he's beating himself. I've never seen this happen in elections before, at least not on a national scale, where you have a candidate that's going around trying to intimidate people with falsehoods, tremendous amount of falsehoods. Here's the truth, that there was a serious consideration of not nominating Trump this year at all at the beginning. And the reason simply is that he is an uncontrollable loudmouth. And that's not the worst part of it. He's stupid. And if they could have put somebody else up there, I think they would have. But they didn't have anybody. Look at J.D. Vance. That's a moron. The Republicans would be better off right now if they had chosen Nikki Haley as their presidential candidate. Now, I don't know nothing about her to know whether she would go along with all the proposals or not. You know, she'd be an easy one to handle. But apparently they thought Trump was a puppet and he was easy to handle, and he's not. He's a maniac. He's crazy. He's going to do and say whatever he wants, and that's not good for Republican politics. Now, he's obviously, you know, they say he's going around calling everybody up to make sure he knows exactly what the ratings are when Kamala speaks. It makes her acceptance speech, you know. Now, there are, that's like a, I guess he considers it a make or break moment, you know. But he's obsessed with it's the narcissism in me. He gets, I want to be the best. People love me. No, people don't love you. Your own party doesn't love you. You're going to be gone in a year. You know, somebody's going to stick you know, you're going to get a poisoned Big Mac, or somebody's going to put a bullet in your head. You're not going to be around for 4 years, Donald, because you're an idiot. They can't control you. You're just too stupid for even the Republicans right now. Oh, that's why you know I've said it before. When I read these articles, Trump gets exposed, or Trump is, now this stuff is starting to show up on CNN and MSNBC and all these other stations. This man is losing his mind slowly. Now, and the reason I think that, you know, the response to Harris is so great is that because people were looking for a choice. They didn't have one. You had a senile, very nice, but I don't know whether a mentally affected, age-affected president running for re-election, and as soon as they saw that they were going to get a younger presidential candidate, people are swarming to her. Not because she's a woman, not because she's black, not because she's younger and can win. Now, when she ran for president, they didn't think much of her, or they didn't want her, because they felt Biden was a winner. Biden's a great man, good president. You know, his record is not. When you do a deep dive into his record, it's not going to show up that great. But you know, he's done a lot of. By keeping his mouth shut and not causing problems, he's done a lot of good for this country. He came into a country that Trump had almost destroyed with his economic policies during COVID and his COVID vaccine problems and whatnot. I mean, we're lucky we came out of that the way we did, and he had nothing to do with it, you know. So that's good old Donald. But I just, you know, I don't know why they're even continuing this approach on Biden. What do they expect to accomplish? Ruin his legacy? I don't know how much of a legacy he has. I don't even know if anybody has legacies after Abraham Lincoln, you know, and Roosevelt, wartime presidents. I don't think other presidents really have a legacy, a good one. There are a couple of bad ones out there, you know. But Trump reminds me of, what's that guy's name from England? Chamberlain. Chamberlain, right before, when he started, you know, pretty much giving the, I don't know whether it's Eastern or Western Europe to the Germans, you know, sitting in the back making these non-aggression pacts with Germany and whatnot. Trump's going to do the same thing if he's elected president. He's going to do it. He's going to do it with Putin, and they're going to stop all military aid to the Ukraine, and the Ukraine's going to be on their own. You know. So is the rest of Europe. If Trump's elected, and people say, well, that's no big deal, you know, because they're isolationists. Isolationism does not how are you going to make this world? I just read a quote from somebody that I put online that said that if we, it's like my mother says, we all have to get, in order for us to survive, we have to work together. If we don't work together, we're not going to survive. You know, this planet just can't handle a Orwell or Handmaid's Tales or fascism or any of that stuff. We need to get along, not to be a totalitarian government, you know, for the world, but we need to be able to they sit down and talk and reason and negotiate. If we can't do that, we're never going anywhere, except to hell. I'm going there, but you know, not because of this stuff. So that you know, that's where. Now, you see in this article just come up. Vance throws Trump under the bus in an interview going wrong. Vance is another one that doesn't strike me as somebody that can think on his feet. This is where you. That's why the politicians nowadays, since everything is what do you call it? Basically prescripted, you know. They put on the questions are always given in advance and whatnot, you know. So they're sitting there reading their answers, you know, because they can't think that fast anymore. They've got 100 advisors they have to talk to find out if this is right. I can't tell you that, you know, having people talk off the top of their head is better, but, you know, if the ability to do that, if you have to, is something that Trump doesn't have. I'm not sure about Kamala because I don't think she's really been pressed in a interview or what have you yet. But Trump has, and Trump can't handle it. You know, he goes off topic. He loses it. If you looked at the situation, he had supposedly, from what I understand, the questions for the last debate. I don't know how far in advance he got him, but he got him in advance. And he turned around, and he still went off topic as much as he possibly could instead of answering the question. Now, is that a mental health problem, an ego problem? Or he just doesn't think his answers are good enough? I have no idea. You know, I'm just sitting around trying to get through the day. I'm not a psychologist, you know. The worst thing I can do is start giving psychological advice. Because I studied psychology doesn't mean that I know what I'm talking about. You know, I forget who said that. It's a quote. A little bit of knowledge is one of the most dangerous things in the world. You know, so somebody said that, some scientist or philosopher. You know, just about every famous quote you can come up with was said by somebody else at some point in time in history. I mean, you go back, they're bringing out quotes from Socrates and Plato and all these guys. You know that they were around before the United States was around. All right, listen, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting my mind is starting to wander a little bit, and I don't feel too good right now. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.